Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today I have a Trash to Treasures video for you, and it is also Christmas in July. So today we are going to be making some Christmas tags, and they are from toilet paper rolls, empty toilet paper rolls. So I'll show you the two that I've made, and then we will go through and make a third one. So this one, I used a toilet paper roll, obviously. I ran the toilet paper roll through my Sizzix with an embossing folder, and then I used this Christmas tree die to cut this tree out of some burgundy cardstock, and then I layered a little band of this Christmas paper, and this was from Creative Memories. I had it in my stash, so I went through and found this, cut a piece here, and then I layered a piece of, this was a file folder, a craft file folder. So I stamped it with a Merry Christmas stamp that I had and layered it up. I put some stickling all over in the corners here and then on the embossing part, and then I added a rhinestone up at the top of the tree. On the back, I stamped a to and a from, and then on the inside is the tag that you can write a little sentiment. Write a little sentiment on. I cut a piece of the file folder and put it here so you'd have something to write on, and then I tied it up with some wired ribbon that I had in my stash and also some twine. So that's that. So there's the tag. It stays snug in there if you want to put it on top of a package. But I thought it was nice because it doubles up as a card, so you can write your little sentiment in there. Or you can use it later. You could put a picture in there, whatever you want to do. So there's that one. And then my second one is more of a sparkly silver one. This was some paper that I had in my stash. I believe it came from a pad that was from Joann's in the $1.50 bin, but I will put a link below if I can find it. So I put a band of that. I also, underneath, I mounted it on top of some glitter, silver glitter paper. And then I had these bling in my stash. They're not rhinestones, but they're like little pearls, but they're glittery. So I put that on there, and then I stamped the Merry Christmas. And I used some color box little cat's eye ink. And this color is, let me check. This color is sky blue. That's what I used on this one. On this one, I used cranberry. There. Oops. And there's the sky blue. So then I had a pack of silver snowflakes from Recollections. So I put a big one there. And then these little stickers, these were from Michael's as well. And then down here is there's a blue snowflake. There were little acetate embellishments that had glitter on them. I don't know where they were from, but I just topped one of these stickers on top of it to make it a little more dimensional. And then on the inside, I made the card the base of the silver glitter, and then I added a piece of the craft file folder and then put another one of the snowflakes there. I tied it up with some blue seam binding ribbon there, also some silver wired ribbon, and then tied a bow with some jute twine around it. And then on both of them, I tied jute down at the bottom. So those are the two that I made. So now we are going to make a third one, and I'm going to use a green colorway. And it's going to be very similar to this one, just in greens. So what you need for this project, you need your paper trimmer. Let me pull out a little bit here. You need a paper trimmer, you need some glue, you need scissors, you need a hole punch. I'm using my Crocodile on the large size. You need a to from stamp, or if you want to print it and cut it out, you can do that too if you don't have a to from. This one I had picked up at a stamping store years back. And then I have a Merry Christmas sentiment, or you can print it out. This one you can barely see because it stained with blue. I don't even know what I used on that to make it so stained, but it won't come off. But that is my Merry Christmas, this one. So then you need a toilet paper roll, of course, and then your embossing system, the machine. I have this Paper Studio embossing folder that I'm going to use, and that's what I used on these. And here's my die cut. I'm going to use this Christmas tree again. And I forgot what the brand this was, but I will link it below if I can find it. It was from Michael's, and it came with some Christmas tree stamps and then this die, so I'll link it below. All right, so then you need some patterned paper. I have a piece, this was from Creative Memories as well. That was my pattern paper, and then I have a green matching cardstock to go with it. And then I have a piece of craft file folder that I'm going to use. And I have more of that if I decide I need more. So, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to stamp on directly on here. It depends on how my green ink works. The blue ink did not stamp well onto the toilet paper roll. It didn't show up very well, so I ended up layering with this paper and then that. So I'm going to try it and see if it'll stamp and you could see it on that. If not, I will stamp on top of white and do it that way, but I'm hoping not, because I don't want to add white into this green and brown. I think it won't look as good as this does, because the silver, white kind of complements the silver. So those are the things you need. As we go along, I will tell the sizes as I'm cutting. So, all right, let me clean this stuff up here. So the first thing you want to do, oopsies, sorry. First thing you want to do is set up your machine for embossing. So I'm going to just put it on the number 1 on my machine. And my first plate. You want to take your toilet paper roll and fold it down, squish it down so it's flat. And then put it inside your embossing folder like this. And then put your top plate on. Make sure you have it straight so you have your design going the direction that you want it to go. And then go ahead and send it through. So I'm passing it through once. I'm going to see if that's the way I want it. That's pretty good. It flattens it out really well. Flatter than what you could get it if you were just to use a bone folder and fold it flat and not use an embossing folder. You may be able to just send it through without, if you didn't want the embossing effect on it, but I really like the way it looks like this. So, all right. The next thing you want to do is take your glue And we want to make this into a pocket, so we're going to add a little bit of glue down here. And then squeeze it together and hold it there for a few minutes. I'm actually going to stick my block down on here and let it sit there. All right, come in a little bit. All right, so the next thing you want to do is to take your Merry Christmas stamp, and I pulled out, I have a dark moss and an evergreen, and I'm not sure which one I want to use with this, so I'm going to stamp these both out and see what I like. So let's see. I don't like that one. Look, it's kind of brown. So I think I'm going to use the evergreen. Try that one out. See how this works without washing it off. Let's see here. That's better. I think I'm going to try and get some more ink on there, though, to get it a little bit darker. But I like that. Hey, look at there. 4th time's the charm. I got it. I got it. Okay, so now I'm going to trim this. Trim this down here. So that's ready to go. I think I put the wrong lids on these. There we go. All right, I'll leave the evergreen out for the back. And actually, I'm going to try and go ahead and ink the back with the To From. And pray that I get it straight. There. This is easier because of the block. There. That's good. All right. Now, what you need to do for your tag size, I cut a piece already, and take this off. This is from Michael's Recollections cardstock. So I cut this for the tag at 2 1/4. Well, it's about a little over 2 1/4. And let me test it here. Yeah, that's good. It's about not quite 2 5/8, or not quite 2 3/8 in between. And then it is 4 3/4 long. So 4 3/4 by 2 3/8 approximately. And I am going to do this because I already know I'm going to trim off according to the tag I already have. the corners. Like that. And then take my crocodile on the biggest side and punch a hole. And I want to add an eyelet to the center because I have lots of eyelets from when eyelets were really popular. I have like probably 10 of these little containers. So, and I don't want to get rid of them because I think eyelets are really cool. They're just a little understated right now. So I think we should bring back eyelets. So I have some green ones here, just some round green. And use my crocodile and put my eyelet in here. There we go. All right. Okay, so now I need to cut this piece here, and it is 1 7/8 by 3 3/8 approximately. You could probably go 2 by 3 1/2. So I just have this craft file folder, and they were ones I bought at Staples for my classroom, preschool classroom, and I just have a whole bunch of them because I needed the craft for a craft project we were doing with the kids, and I wanted, you could only buy 100 of them in a pack or 50 or something like that. So and I already forgot how, what was it, 1 7/8 or 2 approximately. And then 3 1/2. And then I'm going to take my evergreen ink and ink up the edges. Just adds a little bit more to the project. Like that. Let's get this out of the way here. And then I'm going to use my glue and glue down this part. Oops. Like that. And then I'm going to tie this up. I have some, here's my twine, and let's see, I have some ribbon. It is some green and gold ribbon, the sheer, and this I had in my stash. I picked it up at the Shinoda Design Center, which is for people in like designers and floral designers and things like that. So I am a designer, an interior designer actually. That's what I do for, well, I work part-time. That's what I have my degree in. So I can go here and buy, they have many bolts of ribbon there, all different kinds and super cheap. So I'm going to be cutting a little piece off about that length. I like that length. It's a good length to tie onto a package. And then I'm going to use, this is actually a thick piece of jute, and I had this left over from packaging, so I pulled it apart. It had 3 strands woven together, so I pulled it apart, and I'm going to double it actually and tie it around and make a bow. So how are you guys doing? Is it really, really hot where you guys are? Because, yeah, it's hot here. And I'm hot right now because I have my air turned off so I can video this. And it's getting really, really hot. Just thought you'd want to know that. But I know I can't complain. You guys, some of you live in where it's very, very humid. It's actually more humid here than what it normally is. I'm not exactly sure what the humidity level is, but it does feel more humid here. But I've lived in Indiana. I've been to Florida, and I know that there's a lot worse, but still it's hot. Anyway, okay, so there's the top there. Kind of adjust it there. So that's the inside, and then to finish off the outside, or the toilet paper part, I'm going to take my ink again and ink up the edges. Like so. And then I already cut a piece. This is 1.5 inches by 2 5/8, which is how wide the toilet paper roll is. So I'm going to glue that down. Like that. And then I'm going to glue down my little sentiment that I stamped out already. And I'm not going to ink around this. You could if you wanted, but there's just not a lot of space there. I think it would just look messy. But I am going to be adding some stickle dots with my stickling at the very end, because the stickling has to dry for quite a while and you don't want to mess it up. So I put that there. I'm going to take another piece of my twine, just like I tied this one up here. I'm going to go around this and pull it like that. I go around and then tie it. And I'm just going to knot it. And trim it off there. Off so you can actually see the Merry Christmas. Look at that. And then pull in. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in there because I'm done with that. I'm going to pull in my Sizzix over here. Pull you out a little bit. Okay, so I'm on my level 2 of my platform. There's my bottom plate, and I have my Christmas tree. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. All right, so I cut my tree, so I'm going to go ahead and glue the tree down. Tuck that down there. And then I have some rhinestones here, so I'm going to take one of these for the top. Put a little bit of glue. And then the last thing I want to do is do some stickling. So I have some lime green stickles, and I'm going to try this and see what it looks like. Just going to put 4 little dots in the corners on my little sentiment, and then I'm going to go and put some in the centers of these little diamonds on the embossing part. And then I'm going to take my stickling and go ahead and cover the tree, just to make it sparkly. I'm going to put some lines down and then use my finger. It's the best way to get it to go all over. All right, now you could leave it like that, but I think I'm gonna move it around with my finger here. Or you could use a Q-tip, I suppose. Whatever you want. Or a paintbrush. All right, there it is, guys. And you just want to let it dry. I always dry my stickling overnight because it dries really well. Or at least a couple hours. But you don't want to touch it. It'll mess up. So let me pull in our tags here so you can see them all. I think they turned out great. So give me a thumbs up if you liked them as well. Leave me a comment and subscribe, and I will see you again next time. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.